Hello, welcome back. So we are going to I'm going to fill this page up with just little cartoon portraits, just sort of like a head and neck. So I'm going to start up in this corner, I think. This is, I sort of have like a crutch drawing, or like my go-to comfort zone drawing, right? And this is it, this simple face looking that way. I don't know why, but that has just become what I feel the most comfortable drawing. I can do it the quickest. I can make something that I like very quickly. Okay. Okay. So, to find the proportions for the face, you can see I use these big cartoony ears, which really informs a lot of how my drawings look. But if you measure, going around in a circle, the eyebrows meet up with the top of the ears, right? I probably could have done a little better with this one, but yeah, you can always kind of find it by measuring from the top of the ears. Like I said, it'll be different if you're using smaller ears or whatever, but that's a pretty good guideline. And then the nose lines up with the bottom of the ears, sort of like generally. And again, this will be something that will change from like face to face. So like some people have like a really long nose and their nose will sort of be down here with a really small mouth, or a really big sort of mouth and like mandible area, and their nose is really small. So it's, there's a lot of things that you can change, even if you just keep that same proportion right there. So let's just do like a big curly something. I'm going to put this on the apples of her cheeks so that we know that those are coming out towards us, as well as her neck, those circles to help us think 3D, half circles, arcs, I guess is more what it is. I'm going to hit the darkest points in the face are going to be the pupils, the nostrils, and then the corners of the mouth. So if you get those in, find it's pretty smooth sailing on the face for the most part from there on out. I'm sure you can hear that like banging. It's people doing yard work outside, and my whole family's here, so if anyone walks in and starts talking, it's just my family. I work in the space where they live, so. Okay, friends, I got done with her and realized that it was off screen. So we're gonna try again. So I'm gonna show you how I did this. So we're gonna do the same circle, and I like to start with this eye line to make sure we have it going up as much as possible. And then we can get this so it's kind of turning that way. I think I'm gonna get a more dramatic angle with this second try, which is actually cool. And then we'll get like the eye socket, the cheekbone. Okay. Yeah. So same thing. I like this try a lot better actually. So cool. Okay. And then for hair, for her, we can do, let's do just like a super straight bob. So normally I would say don't use straight lines anywhere, but I really like to do these like really boxy straight hairdos, I guess. I think they're really cool. And I can do whatever I want. It's my sketchbook, you know what I mean? And so can you. Okay, cool. So there she is. We can do maybe some like jewelry. Make sure we'll get her cheeks. She's got very like tight pinched lips. Okay. Now let's do another one. Maybe let's do one just like straight on. I'll make sure she's where you can see it. So making a straight on portrait interesting is sort of challenging because very rarely like people are just like looking at you straight on in real life, you know, other than in sort of awkward encounters. So you always sort of have to think of making something asymmetrical, which is why I do this. I always sort of, so they're looking at you. We don't need to draw the rest. We don't need to understand exactly what the shoulders are doing, but we just know that it's not, you know, there's something a little more interesting going on because it's something, there's some element of asymmetricism. Cool. And then so my tendency is to lean on the side of smaller eyes, smaller everything, and just big ears. So that's generally like where my comfort zone is. That's what I like to do the best and how I think it looks the best when I'm done. But on this next one that I'm gonna do, I will show you like a different, you know, exaggeration that you can go for. Okay, and again, this is, you know, still a stretch for me because this has become really easy for me to execute. So sort of changing this formula is a little bit hard, which is why I think it's important to do it. So I am still gonna start with my circle. And let's, just for the sake of making it easy, let's do like really big eyes. So we'll put the eyeline in and then I'll do the nose where I think that should be. And I'm actually just gonna go in with like circles because changing the size of these eyes is still a little bit challenging for me. And I'm also going to ignore the fact that I think this looks really weird with small ears. And they're not even that small. They're still pretty big. So we'll do this again. I could honestly bring these down still quite a bit, but I'm gonna do the apples of the cheeks a little bit smaller than on these ones. These ones will just be sort of there. Maybe she's like a really happy smiler. Okay. Not bad. Okay. And then I probably would want to get in some like pupil situation, the corners of her mouth. She looks a little bit crazy. I would definitely go in and fix that in like the coloring stage. Those eyes would be actually really pretty, just kind of with like a watercolor wash, and then just with the eyeliner or the eyelash line a little bit darker. So let's just do the same here. Whoa. Change it just like a little bit so it's a little more like bubbly on top. Whereas this is sort of like a little tighter to where the skull would be, presumably. All right. So there's a little different stylization. It totally changes it, which is crazy. So let's do one last one. This is my favorite way to do, like, this is my favorite angle because it's the hardest and I love it. When you get it right, it's amazing. So I'm gonna do a circle. We're gonna do just sort of like a ski jump. And then the jaw, yeah, you know what we're doing. We're doing it in profile. It's really challenging. Okay, there's the ear. I'm lining it up. This is how I always, no matter what angle I have the face at, I always know, you know, I can kind of find a continuous line. Same thing with the nose. And your head sits in front of where your shoulders are, so it's always going to be leaning at this angle. If you're standing straight on, like from the side, even if you're just standing perfectly straight up and down, your neck will be at this angle. It will never ever be up and down. So always find an angle to put the neck at. And one thing that I always struggle with is this eye is always further back than you think it is, because it sits back in its eye socket and there's a whole mess of bones in there. So it has to be back in the eye socket. Okay. And then we'll do just like a ponytail. Okay. Yeah. So there's another one. So there we have a page and a little bit of these little cartoon portrait things. So try it out. Let me know how it goes. You can tag me on Instagram. It's @byElisaJakins, and I will see you next time. Bye.